belief in visionaries and power plugs. Welcome back to another chapter of Object Lessons with your host, B. Green, aka Belief Narrative, or Belief Narrative, aka B. Green. Whichever one you choose, it's me. What you see is what you get. So, the object lesson today is this set of dominoes. Now, in the very last object lesson, we discussed how to break cycles. Life continues to teach, and I continue to learn. My good gracious, this is something else. So, I'm packing, right? I'm going through old things and deciding what to keep and what to throw away. And I stumble upon these dominoes on a specific day that things did not go the way that I perceived them going. And so life was like, you gonna need these dominoes because there's an object lesson in it that you cannot pass up. So I had my idea of how my day was going to go. And let's just say it did not go my way. And I recognized, and this is the powerful part, I became aware that quickly things started to go in a direction that I did not want, that I did not like. My thoughts led to emotions, led to actions that were not becoming of me being who it is that I am. Who it is that I used to be, yes, but not who it is that I am. And so I discover the domino theory. Life was like, pay attention. Pay attention. The domino theory is about chain reactions. Chain meaning linked. Understand that things are very interconnected. Even though it may not appear to be so, they are. So, the chain reaction is this. There's an inciting incident. Something happens. And then one thing leads to another thing, leads to another thing, leads to another thing, leads to another thing. It all takes you somewhere. It all leads you somewhere. What gives a chain reaction its power are two principles: commitment and consistency. So once you become aware of the pattern and you become aware of where it takes you, then the next question is, why do I remain consistent and committed to this pattern? What does this pattern produce in my life? So I became aware of the fact that I was spiraling out of control. This, in real time, is the domino effect. Like, you can't make this up. I'm spiraling out of control, and I'm just frustrated, and I come across the dominoes. And life was like, yes, the dominoes, the domino theory. The setup is real, but guess what? You're the one that set it up. Now, did I set up my set of circumstances? To a degree, yes, and to a degree, no. But you have to trust the process. There are some things that are out of your control, but you are always in your control. What pattern do you choose to use in this situation? Because one thing I became aware of, it's not the thing, it's not the situation. It's your association to the situation that gives it meaning and gives it power. Is Is my association with what it is that I'm choosing to be consistent and choosing to be committed to bring about healthy thoughts, healthy emotions, healthy things, or does it bring about unhealthy things? The setup is very real. But again, you have the power to set it up. When you see yourself going one way, break that situation down. Give yourself a moment to think about what just occurred and why it hit you the way that it did. You hit the domino and the dominoes fall. Why are the dominoes falling in this direction? Go back, pause, rewind, take a moment. Why did this hit me like it did? What is behind it? When you see something going a certain way, understand that you have the power to set that thing up differently. I am going to be committed and I'm going to be consistent with positive things. What does that look like? How are positive things, how are healthy things interconnected? How do the dominoes fall in the direction that you want them to go? Plain and simple. One thing leads to another. There was a story about a person who was depressed, and they woke up one day and they noticed the pattern, and they decided to break the cycle by doing one thing different. They got up out of bed and they decided to make their bed. It was something that they had not done before. They're not in the habit of doing that. So making the bed. So they ended up making the bed that day. Next day, they made up the bed again. The next day, they made up the bed again. On the fourth day, they made up the bed and then they noticed the pile of clothes on the floor. They got the clothes up, put them in the hamper, took them downstairs, washed the clothes. While the wash was going, they looked and they saw that there were some dishes in the sink. While that's going, why don't I just go ahead and take care of these dishes real quick? Do you see how it's going? So, one positive thing in the midst of something that may not be going your way can lead to another positive thing and another positive thing. And before you know it, you now have taken your power and set things up differently in the positive way. One of the reasons why we don't see the power of the domino theory in the healthy way is due to the fact that we look at ourselves in a bad light. So as I am growing my photography skills, I now understand that if the subject is in a bad light, don't change the subject, change the lighting. If you haven't looked at yourself in a positive light and you looked at yourself in a negative light, change the lighting. There is nothing wrong with you. You are great. Your perspective of your situation needs to change. What is going on in my life appears like something that I've seen before. But when you pause and you say, okay, well, why am I seeing this again? The reasons why I'm seeing this again is because I've made a positive change. Because a lot of times we say, I started changing things and doing things the right way, but I'm still seeing similar results. I'm not seeing the upswing of it. I'm not seeing the results that I want. Keep going. Because even in your financial situation, when you start doing different things to build up your credit, initially you might see a decrease. But guess what? It's going up. Great things take time. There's a price for excellence. And when you're doing excellent things, you get excellent results. But you have to remain both committed and consistent. When a plane is taking off, right? A plane is taking off. It has to build up so much momentum because the pull of gravity is stronger because you're closer to the ground. So does that mean because you're not flying high and it's hard and it's rough? No, that means you keep going faster. You keep pouring more power into your situation, and gravity can't hold you down. Stay committed, stay consistent to your positive endeavors, regardless of what you see around you. Keep going. Gravity will try to pull you back into old habits. That's because the way our mind works is, before we rewire it, it wants to keep you safe by keeping things the same. But guess what? Nothing stays the same. You're designed to grow. Stay connected. Much love and respect. To change the narrative in your life, take the next step. Invest in yourself and book a life strategy coaching session with me at www.beliefinteriordesign.com. Let's start the journey of making belief reality.